Wow. They did a pretty good job over the weekend, my friends. Completely bombing in the movie theaters. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're talking about, of course, Snow White, Disney's greatest movie ever made, or actually it seems to be maybe one of their worst. We're going to get into actually some hilarious stuff going on with regards to this movie. We have, of course, also South Park dedicating an entire movie to making fun of this movie. So actually, Rachel Zegler did do a good job promoting a movie. It just wasn't her. She promoted South Park's new movie coming up later this year, I think in July. Probably get a lot more money than Snow White did. That's for sure. But it apparently didn't make very much money. We have, of course, an alarming. These are from like liberal, of course, outlets, man. I mean, this is so funny. Some of these reviews, it's like they pissed off both sides. Everyone hates this movie. Everyone. I'll show you in a minute here. It's just so funny. Box office Snow White limps to an alarming 43 million domestic opening, 87 million globally. They spent, now they keep saying 270 million, but I actually think it is higher if you count in the marketing and all the extras, because they usually don't include that. You're probably talking, they could theoretically still lose 200 million. I doubt it though. Probably about 180, 170 million. We'll see what happens, but you won't believe how much money Disney's lost in the last 2.5 years. If I told you, you're not going to believe it. Okay. We're talking like national debt level losses. Not quite that big, but I mean, literally it wouldn't look like a dot compared to it. Like it's actually like a small percentage. $250 billion almost they've lost in 2.5 years. $250 billion. I didn't say billion. I said trillion. Okay. I'll show you that in a minute. But thanks to some of their actors and actresses that seemingly make people not want to buy their tickets at all, they've somehow managed to lose money hand over fist. Here we have Rachel Zegler telling you not to watch the movie. I mean, they should actually they should have a contract with these actors and actresses telling them you can't talk terrible and make people not want to go to a movie if you're going to act in it, right? That's what they should do.
Potential audience to not go see the movie.
Come on. Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
Bold strategy, Cotton, in a country that looks like that.
Okay. It's a little red. Maybe not a good idea to say something like that when quite a few of your customers might be in that area that's a little bit more red. Yeah, not going to work out too well. Of course, I mean, we've seen this over and over with these actors and actresses. I mean, look at this. This is the kind of stuff she puts out. Let's just put up our finger. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to sell tickets. I'm sure that's going to work out well. And as you can see here, if you look at these two tweets, they're literally from the opposite spectrums. We have one that doesn't like Gal Gadot, and of course Gal Gadot being, and this comes back to the whole Middle East thing. One on one side, Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler on the complete other end of the spectrum. That's why they didn't get along in this movie. And apparently everyone's boycotting on every side, apparently, not wanting to watch this movie, except for those that are completely oblivious to what's going on. Then we have this here, my friends, where Rachel Zegler channels the original Snow White voice actress Adriana Caselotti in new shared photo. Some are wondering if she's just trying to act as if she's like the original Snow White, or is she kind of having a little bit of a mental, break here, or is this some sort of marketing play to try to turn things around because it was on March 17th? Just had to pay homage to the original Snow White, Miss Adriana Caselotti, to whom I owe everything. Of course, talking like that. We also have this video of her down here trying to act like her, putting her eyes to the side like they would do maybe in a movie from the 1930s. And it kind of makes you wonder if perhaps this is sort of like a last-ditch effort to market the movie, to try to somehow sway people to think that she's really not anti the storyline, because she knew the box office was going to be a dumpster fire. So this is what's been going on with this movie. We have, of course, theaters that are completely and utterly empty. We got videos coming out of that. We got like 1 seat sold type of thing. Here's probably one of the better ones here, where he actually had 30% of the seats sold on the first night, right? So, of course, they say it was a $270 million budget. Like I said, though, it's probably more like $300 million if you count the marketing and everything else. And, of course, it's just kind of amazing looking into all of this, because now South Park is actually dedicating a movie to all of this wokeness now for later this year in the summer. Oh my goodness, it's probably going to be really hilarious. But of course, they got featuring Rachel Zegler as well as Snow White, and of course a few of the Marvel and Star Wars. You got to put that in there as well. Disney over all of this. I'm sure it's going to work out quite well. You have here the movie right here. Here it is. South Park co-creator Matt Stone confirms 2025 movie special and new episodes. South Park is set for a big comeback 2025. Of course, they're also going after Ozempic, and I think, what were they going to call it? They're going to call it fat or something. I can't remember what it was, but there's some episodes on that as well. Being overweight or something like that, right? Because, of course, Ozempic apparently not all that it was cracked up to be, from a lot of people having, side, of course, effects to it. It's kind of weird. Like when you have your car and your car breaks, you go to the mechanic and he actually fixes your car. He doesn't put earmuffs on your head and said, hey, now do you hear that knocking in your engine anymore? No, I don't. Oh, that means it's fixed, because we put earphones on your head and you can't hear it anymore. I mean, that's literally how honestly, that's kind of how the medical, industry is at this point. It's just like, let's muffle what you're feeling. Let's make it so it doesn't affect you as much. How about you solve the problem? Like, get the foods fixed. Get rid of the dyes or some weird stuff that you put in the food. And I was talking about this over my other channel. I mean, I went to another country for a year once. I lost 30 pounds. I got super skinny. Like, I hadn't been that skinny since like high school. And then as soon as I come back here, like 2 months later, I already gained a lot of it back. It's like they put high fructose corn syrup in everything here. In other countries, they don't do that. That's why, and you can eat literally the exact same thing and you will be skinny in lots of other countries. You come here and the food is literally designed to make you overweight. It's just really bizarre. Of course, that kind of feeds into this whole thing. Like, do they own both? Do they own the food and the, medical? Oh, they want to get you out of weight, so you got to go over here and you got to get medical stuff. And oh, look, they don't even solve it. So then you got to pay them lots of money all the time, nonstop. Oh, I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy. Of course I'm crazy. Anyway, so of course, South Park is going to tackle that as well. They're going to tackle Ozempic themed special in May. Yes, and good stuff. Of course, going after, Snow White and woke Star Wars. Of course, they finally got rid of what is her name? Kathy, whatever. The one that's over, Kathleen Kennedy, that's her name, over Star Wars, right? She finally threw in the towel or something. I don't know what happened there, but like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff in this video. We got some hilarious clips we're going to get into. And Rachel Zegler is losing it, man. I'm going to show you a couple clips on that as well. Because of what's going on with this movie and how badly it's doing. And we're going to go over some of these reviews. They're just hilarious. Like this is like the crowning achievement of the worst movie ever made by Disney. You're not even going to believe. Look at this. 2.2. How do you even get that low? That's not even a B-level movie. This is not like A-list or B-list. That's like C-list. A guy in his garage made a movie, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Anyway, before we go any farther, though, I got to mention Food Supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 4 weeks worth for $247. You're going to definitely want to get that if you have not already. You've seen all the wonderful things that happened over the last 4 or 5 years. Oh, it's been paradise, hasn't it? Of course, you're going to definitely want to be prepared for whatever mostly peaceful thing happens next. Link is in the description for that. Also, of course, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, How to Build a Cellar, Do Things Around the House Like They Did in the Good Old Days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. You're going to definitely need that before the lights go out for whatever reason. Who knows what's next, right? World, of course, war, or something like that. Sky's the limit. Of course, I'm joking, but you're going to definitely want to get the book before that happens. Link is in the description. Get the printed version, $37 plus shipping. Of course, check out my website, GR Videos. First month is free if you go to the membership section. There's even a free section, hundreds of videos over there. Lots of deep dives into interesting topics. Go check it out. Let's get back to the video. So, of course, as I mentioned, Disney has lost $192 billion, almost $250 billion, in 2.5 years. How do you even do that? How do you even lose $250 billion in 2.5 years? That's a good question. Walt Disney Company has seen a reduction in value amounting to $192 billion. Right, man, that's a little bit of a loss. And of course, they've lost billions and billions of dollars. I'm not quite sure the amount in sales, but it's large. I mean, just on their streaming services last year, they lost $11 billion, just on that alone. But that's not counting what they're losing in the movie theaters, their theme parks. Who knows? I mean, they pretty much own everything at this point, so they're losing a lot. And just typing in Disney loses money, and you'll get a plethora of articles covering everything, the gamut. Disney streaming loses 3 times more money than Disneyland Paris. Loses $4 billion because it tried to tell too many stories. Of course, this is their excuse that they're giving, that they told too many great stories, and somehow that made them lose money. I don't know how that happens. But, I mean, you have your Star Wars. Disney lost even more money on woke Star Wars show than they originally thought. Of course, they also were playing funny math games. I noticed when they tried to explain away, Bob Iger tried to explain away their losses, saying, no, we didn't lose $11 billion in streaming. We actually gained money. And he tries to come up with some weird, ninja math or something to explain everything. Kind of like what we saw in the last 4 years, where they told us there was no inflation. They kept telling us, there is no inflation. You're actually rich. And you're like, no, I'm not. My wallet's empty. And what are you talking about, dude? Of course I'm not rich. At any rate, so of course you got that. So apparently what they're going to do now is make drastic cost-cutting decisions amid troubles. Disney makes a harsh decision to reduce costs. Well, maybe losing $200 million on a movie is not a good idea. You know what I mean? Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe you should try to actually hire actors and actresses that don't destroy the movie before it comes out. That might help as well. Don't tell everybody to not watch the movie. Don't call people names. Don't do stuff like this with their fingers at potential people that will watch the movie. You know what I mean? They should be signing contracts that say this on it. It's what are you doing? Obviously, if you're smart with these contracts, you have these really big lawyers that craft the whole thing. Just put a little stipulation in there. If you say negative things about people or movie or people, customers or whatever, you will lose money. You won't get paid, or you'll get paid less, or whatever it might be. At any rate, so of course, that's just kind of an idea for some of them to chew over there. We have here cinema goers lose it over woke Snow White peddling darkness and evil as plain. Rachel Zegler loses faith of Disney fans. Really? I mean, she kind of did it to herself. So it's called, I mean, honestly, dude, everything she said was just ridiculous. And of course, that's why you have a movie now being made about you. You literally have a movie being made about you, making fun of you. That's what happens when you do that, right? So of course, that's why you get a 2.2 rating. You get a 2.2. Now, what's really bizarre is if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, this is so weird. I was laughing really hard at this first. Okay, I'll get to this in a second, but look over here. So it shows a audience score of 74%, which is not even possible if you look at these ratings. 43% from critics. Apparently the critics are changed because they used to just give a movie like this 95%. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh, this woke princess. I mean, they used to do that. They don't apparently do that anymore. Apparently, I don't know, something happened. They woke up or something whoa, what am I doing with my life? I don't know. I guess I've seen it on Captain America 4 as well. Like they actually gave it a terrible review, and I was like, what's going on here? It's really strange. But if you go over here to the actual people watching the movie, you have Brandon, who looks like, I mean, just read this. The movie is awesome. I mean, just reading that alone, you already know it's a dude. You don't even have to look at his name. You can just cover this up and you'll know it's a guy. It's so obvious. So he goes, the movie is awesome. It sounds like something a 20-year-old would say. The movie is awesome. This movie's not awesome. I don't have a clue how you would say this movie's awesome. But apparently, I'm supposed to believe this is a real review. I don't know. It doesn't look real to me for some reason. The movie's... You couldn't even get a woman, a 20-year-old lady to say this. I think maybe in a few rare exceptions you could, but I'm starting to think some of these reviews are not exactly what you'd call real, because you get either half or you get 5-star. Once in a while you'll get, in a rare situation, you'll actually get one like this, but most of them are basically 5-star or 1s. As you can see here, as we scroll down, oh, this one's interesting. See, that's probably actually a real review. But you can see a lot of 1 stars, half stars, 5 stars, and that's pretty much what it is for the most part, as you can see here. But at any rate, so of course, what do we have here? So this is why the Snow White bombed. She called the original movie dated. She called the prince a guy who literally just stalks her. She told potential customers she was scared of the original cartoon. She told little girls that love isn't important, power is. She told Jewish, of course, people, I don't want you exactly around anymore. Told other people to blank themselves because they, voted for, of course, a president. And the list goes on and on. Of course, they didn't even have dwarves in the movie. Of course, we have some clips of her here. This is her. This one's really bizarre. This one's bizarre, man. Okay, let's just watch this.
And people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of another movie, Cinderella. Doesn't she remind you more so of the sisters or of the Cinderella? I mean, like totally expecting everyone to just, bow down to her. And she almost looks like she's about ready to cry. Like, this is what she wants. She wants everyone to see her as an icon, as a princess, as a high up actress. And she's not getting what she wants, but she wants to be able to say whatever she wants to say and offend whoever she wants to offend, while at the same time you worship the feet or the ground that she walks on, right? So that's kind of her attitude, which is really bizarre. And you have here also talking about the original cartoon and commenting on the story here.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. The original...
Yeah, I don't know if that would work out too well for you there, but of course, that's what you did. That is what you did, isn't it? Exactly what you did, because you made it so there was no love story at all. It was just some guy. It wasn't even, apparently, not even in love with you in the movie, from what I understand. Some guy that was like a, revolution, area or something like that. I don't know. That's what I heard. I haven't watched the movie, of course, yet, but it is kind of interesting looking at the results of how the movie's been doing. And I'm not going to pay any money to go watch this. Might watch it if it shows up on Amazon Prime or whatever, just to see how bad it is. But yeah, I have seen some clips from it. Doesn't look very well. I think, did I already show you one? I had one over here that's really bizarre. Let me show you this one. This is so bizarre. So of course, the whole concept of the name Snow White, they wanted to explain it away. So they were saying it had nothing to do with, of course, her skin. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that there was snow on when her birth. When she was born, there was snow and it was white outside. So they have this weird scene where there's like everything's white. Check this out. Oh my goodness. Why do I feel like I'm being pulled into her mind? Like, what's in her mind? Is this kind of her fantasy of reality? I don't want to be pulled into that. I don't want to pay money for that. It doesn't sound good to me for some reason. Of course, here we have some other reviews. Believe the hype. It's that bad. The tunes, like the acting, are watery and ineffectual. Disney delivering sanctimonious life lessons cold from the corpses of its own murdered movies. I don't think I'll ever read a worse review. Disney ruins its crown jewel and reputation. Of course, Snow White, I think, was one of their original movies, right? It was 1937? Was that one of their first? I don't know. I think it was one of their first movies. It was one of the ones near the beginning, right? So they completely destroyed the original story and somehow managed to make a dumpster fire of a movie that's worse than any other movie they ever made, with a 2.2 overall rating on IMDb. We have all these wonderful reviews of the movie here. The woke Disney remake of Snow White is completely flopping at the box office and is projected to earn a whopping 45 to 55 million. Technically, that's incorrect. Well, actually, that was what they were projecting. But what it was at first is they were projecting, I think it was like 80 million, and then they knocked it down to like 55 to 65 million. And then when we got a little bit closer to the date, they said, 45 to 55 million. And then apparently the actual results were 43 million. So literally half of what they were expecting initially. And actually, maybe that's not even initially. I don't know what they really thought when they were very, very first making it. Maybe they were thinking even higher than that. But Snow White cost $250 million, excluding marketing. Reviews of the movie compiled by Newsweek. The Times of London. Disney has trashed its own crown jewel. The Guardian. Pointless, exhausting, awful. New York Times. A mediocre remake. That's actually kind of a positive review. Okay. No star. Okay. Just kind of... I'm going to sit this one out. The Boston Globe, a misfire, but Zegler shines. That's probably the most positive I've heard yet. A 1.5 out of 5. Variety, a politically charged interpretation. So, of course, she was hoping to be exalted and everyone love her. Kind of helps to say things people like. So, at any rate, so you got all that going on there. What else do we have here? So, of course... with regards to the South Park episode, I'm actually probably going to go watch that because that actually sounds pretty funny. Especially considering the more recent stuff they've been making, it's been pretty good compared to what they were making in the old days. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's better than this Snow White movie, that's for sure. Damage Control. Disney Snow White stars Rachel Zegler apologizes for wishing harm, of course, on you and I. Well, thank you for apologizing 3 days before the movie came out. I'm sure it's totally sincere, right? Totally sincere apology from Rachel Zegler, waiting almost a year to apologize for what she said. 3 days before the movie releases, completely genuine. So, at any rate, so there's that. I mean, honestly, I kind of want to see what you guys think about all this stuff. Such a great movie. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.